So when you want to find the equation of a line, you will always need two things. The two things are a point and a slope. Now the point always just has to be given. The slope you might need to find. So the options for finding the slope are maybe it'll just be given, that'll be awesome. But maybe you'll be given 2 points and then you'll use the slope formula. Okay, remember the slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So change in y over change in x. Let's see, maybe you'll be given a separate line and you'll want to be parallel or perpendicular to it. And remember, parallel, same slope, and perpendicular, opposite reciprocal. Flip and change the sign. Okay, so here we go. After you have the point and the slope, there are two different strategies you can choose from to get the equation of the line you're looking for. We're going to go through both, and then you can just choose one that you like best. I'll just suggest that you give them both an equal shot first, and then commit if you want to. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use the slope-intercept form of a line. So y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in the value of the slope, right? That goes in for m. So, and we're going to have the coordinates of at least 1 point. Remember, we have to have that. We're going to plug that in for the x and the y. We'll solve for b. And then we just go back and make it look pretty by plugging in the m and the b values back, leaving the x and y as they are. So we're going to do that. We're going to find the equation of the line that contains the points 3, 2, and -1, 4. So we don't know the slope, so we need to do that first. So m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so then here are your points. So you can call one of them point 1 and point 2. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you stick with the y's on top. So 4 minus 2. And then the x's go in the same point. So if you started with a 4, you have to start with a -1 when you move to the x's. So -1 minus 3. So what do we have there? 4 minus 2 is 2. -1 minus 3 is -4. Okay, so our slope is -1/2. Just reduce that fraction. The negative sign, remember, in a fraction can live anywhere. So I just moved mine up top. So I have my slope. I'm going to pick one of these points and I'm going to use the slope-intercept form. So here we go. I'll copy down the slope-intercept form, mx plus b. The -1/2 is going in for the m. And then I just need to pick one of these 2 points to go in for the y and the x. It really doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and grab the first one. So 2 goes in for the y. M, we now know is -1/2. X is the 3. You do have to choose the x and the y from the same point. You can't mix and match. And then we have the plus b. So we're supposed to solve for b. So we'll do that arithmetic. So 2 equals, what is that, -3/2 plus b. Add the 3/2 to both sides. So now we know that b equals, what is that, 2, 3.5, 7/2. It's okay if you're using your calculator for that. If you wrote through 0.5, also okay. So now I know m, I know b. I'm going to go back to my y equals mx plus b and plug those numbers in. So y equals -1/2 x plus 7/2. And that is the answer. Okay, so that's the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. Okay, so strategy 2. What we do is we're going to use an alternate form of a line, of the equation of a line, and that looks like this. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. We're going to plug that value of m that we have to know in, and then we're going to choose the coordinates of one of the points for x1 and y1. Once we do that, all we have to do is solve for y. Okay, so here we go. We want to find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line, y equals 2x plus 7, that also contains the point 6, 1. So we're going to be perpendicular to this line. So this line's slope is 2. So the slope we want to be perpendicular, where you need the reciprocal and we need the different sign. So the 2 was positive, so the perpendicular slope would be negative. Okay, so now I know the slope. I've got a point. So here we go. We're going to grab that point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So y sub 1 is the point, right? The y value from the point we know. Y minus 1 equals m, negative 1/2, x minus x sub 1, 6. Okay, so now we're all done except for the prettying up, so we're just going to solve for y. So y minus 1, I'm going to distribute the negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 x, negative 1/2 times negative 6 is a plus 3. And then we will add 1 to get the y by itself. So we're solving for y. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Just a quick little note about the this negative 1/2 x term. So the negative sign can live top, bottom, middle. The x, though, the x cannot live on the bottom. That means something else for us that we don't talk about until chapter 10, I think. So the x does not, or chapter 6, x does not live in the bottom until chapter 6. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show you then how to use the two different strategies to find the same line. Okay, so we're going to find the equation of the line. The slope is 2/3, and we have the point negative 6, 4. So strategy 1, we use the slope-intercept form. We plug in the 2/3 for m. We plug the point in for x and y. By the way, if you want to pause and try to do these two on your own and just meet me at the bottom, that would be an awesome suggestion. Let's see. Okay, so then 4 for the y. M is 2/3. X we now know is negative 6 plus b. So let's see, do that math there. 4 equals negative 4 plus b. Add the 4 to both sides. We know that b is 8. So now I know m and I know b. So the equation of my line, y equals m, plug in the value, x plus b. Okay, strategy 1. Strategy 2. We need to end up at the same place, right? Because it's the same line. We're just showing you two different ways to get there. So y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So y minus 4 equals m, 2/3, x minus x sub 1, which is a negative 6. So remember, minus a negative plus a positive. I'm just going to do that right there. Y minus 4. I hate it when I get y's and 4's together and b's and 6's. Sometimes it just goes that way and it's totally obnoxious. Okay, I'm sorry. 2/3 distributing. So 2/3 x plus 4. And then add the 4 to both sides to get the y by itself. Y equals 2/3 x plus 8. Okay, so remember, you can choose either way, but you should give them both a chance.